Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady and our first story. Did I just get promoted? Karen, are you the manager? No, ma'am. The manager's outside with a customer at the moment. May I help you with something? Why are you dressed like a manager? It's our dress code, ma'am. We're all dressed this way. Well then, why are you sitting back here? Looks at crutches, then back at her. I have a fractured ankle. Well, it's not nice to confuse people. Silently rolls eyes. Yes, ma'am. I apologize for that. A typical Karen. And now the second story. Yes, I speak English. No, I'm not obligated to help you. I just stumbled upon this subreddit and I'm overjoyed that I can share one of the most frustrating interactions of my life. This event happened almost 3 years ago. I was lucky enough to go to the soft opening of Shanghai Disneyland a couple of weeks before the official opening with my church's youth group. The day was pretty fun as there weren't a lot of people and we got to ride most of the big rides with only 20 to 30 minutes waiting time. Anyway, at the tail end of our visit, everyone's pretty tired from walking around all day, so we decided to go to the only open gift shop in the park located at the Tomorrowland area. This is a soft opening meant for friends and family of those who worked at the park to allow them to experience the rides and stuff. So the gift shop is stocked with a sample one of each item available at all of the future gift stores with a corresponding piece of paper with the name of an item in Chinese, its price, and a number that correlates with the item. There are a lot of signs posted all around the store and at the front door notifying the customers in both Chinese and English that you're supposed to write down the item number, amount, and size if applicable with the Mickey Mouse branded pen and paper that they pass out when you enter the store, and hand it to one of the store attendants to get your stuff. Just for some context, I attended a private international high school in Shanghai where I was taught in English, so I'm better at English than most Chinese kids. Anyway, I spot a girl I recognize from playing sports with other schools. She's there with who I think is her mom, and they're struggling at the plushie bin. I ended up helping them find the things that they need. Halfway through, I feel a presence approach me. I don't pay much attention as I think it's one of the other family members and finish up writing down the number for the Kylo Ren Mickey that they wanted. They leave seemingly happy with their choices, and I look through the plushie pile some more to see if there's anything I want. After finishing, I turn to look for my friends, and I'm confronted with the most forced smile I've ever witnessed. The woman who I thought was their family member was standing about 10 centimeters away from me, and her face was about 5 centimeters away from my neck. I felt her warm, caustic breath huffing and puffing on my collarbone. I thought it was kind of weird, but my tired brain at this point thought that maybe she was tired too, and was just trying to put on her best smile. I awkwardly mutter, "No problemo," and scuttle away to find my friends. I hear her yell, "Hey! What?" And then I felt it. Her oily, grubby marshmallow fingers with her crusty acrylics grab my arm. I slowly turn around and am immediately met with a shirt shoved in my face. "We need larges for these shirts. Your guy's stock is terrible. There's practically nothing here." "Excuse me?" was all I could mutter before she talked again, angrier. "Just look in the back. I know you have more stock back there." I look around. Her 2 kids are behind her, hands full of sample toys. She's holding one shirt right next to my face and is holding 2 more on her other arm. I look around. Chinese people aren't very confrontational, but love to watch. There are about 10 to 12 people staring at us in the immediate area. "You're not supposed to take those things. Read the signs." "Excuse me? Those are samples. You're not supposed to touch them." "Don't you tell me what I can and can't buy. Who's in charge here? Get me your supervisor. You're clearly untrained." "Dude, I don't work here. I was just helping a friend." "That's unfair treatment. Just because they're your friend?" I could only sigh out a "what?" before one of the members of my youth group yelled from across the store in Chinese to see if I was done. I decide it's just not worth it and start heading towards the group. I hear her screech, "Stop right there!" Immediately followed with a "You're supposed to serve me, not them. You speak English. You're supposed to help the American customer, not one of your Chinese, and I can't find the right sizes." There were 2 big things that upset me about this statement. First, she said Chinese as if I was her PTA mom friend she was complaining about to some Asian kid getting the valedictorian position over her precious baby. Secondly, she's completely ignored what I said and has contradicted herself as she's gone from telling me that I'm untrained, which I am because I don't work there, to now me being trained specifically to help Americans. I don't even turn around and yell, "I'm not a effing employee, you're being a B." and then turn around to look her in the eyes and say, "You're not my effing problem." I hear a comically loud gasp coming from her and see her form an individual stampede and approach me. I start getting kind of scared of her. 150 kilograms of chub tubs. She was closer to maybe 80 or 90 kilograms, I fear. I may have been a little fat phobic. Is going to body my frail, lanky 60-kilogram bones, so I put up my hands and brace myself, and I end up awkwardly catching the shirt and the hanger that she was trying to hit me with. I push her hand away and just leg it towards the door. At this point, I was in a state of fear and confusion, as no one outside of my own mother had ever attempted to hit me like that. I catch my friends at the keychain area close to the counter and try to blend in with the crowd and begin to tell them about the crazy lady that was trying to murder me. After my unsuccessful attempt to get everyone to leave, as they had just handed in their papers, I hear a loud screech of someone speak in a way as if they were condescendingly speaking to someone they perceived to be mentally slow. "Your worker attacked me." This came with its own flailing of hands and trying to mime out the phrase. I see this poor manager on the verge of breaking down after dealing with waves of demanding Disney fans and being yelled at in a language he barely understands. At this point, I've just been freshly called a homophobic slur from running away from the woman and make the decision that no one spooks me twice. I stride towards the woman and kindly say to the manager in Chinese, she's crazy and just tried to hit me because she thought I worked here and I didn't want to help her. All the while, she freaks out and keeps yelling to him, "That's him! That's him!" Obviously, the manager tunes her out because he actually understands what I'm saying, and he tells me he would call security, but there aren't any available at the moment. She keeps screeching stuff about the manager discriminating against her by not talking to her while I speak to the manager about what to do. Soon enough, the woman gets agitated and grabs the manager and starts shaking him, screaming at him to fire me. The manager just shoves the woman off, puts a finger in her face, and says in his broken English, "No touch." She's shook, realizes what happens, and started stumbling a couple steps back and flops onto the floor. She just starts flailing around and screaming. At this point, the entire store's customers, including the girl I was helping and my church group and most of the employees, have gathered around and have started watching this woman act like a toddler. She does this vaudeville-esque pause to see if there are people watching and goes straight back to screaming and crying. A bunch of Chinese people start pulling out their phones and filming this crazy white lady make a mess at Disney. After she realizes no one gives an F about her childish behavior and are just watching her, she begins to shift back into anger. "Never in my life has anyone disrespected me like this. 6 years in China, you are the worst," she says, as she points her sausage fingers at me. 6 years. 6 years, and this woman hasn't even attempted to learn a lick of Chinese? Oh, I'm dumbfounded. How does she live? Her poor Ai, Chinese maid. At this point, all eyes are on me, and this becomes one of those moments I would regret and replay every night for the next 35 years if I don't speak my mind. F you. That was it. All I could come up with. But thank God she kept talking. "No, F you, you rude brat. I'll make sure my husband gets you fired. You ruined my boy's day." Well, go ahead. I don't effing work here. I don't need to do anything for you. You B? F you, lady. At this point, she's still on the floor, so I just turn around, walk towards my youth group, and just said, "Let's go," in Chinese. We ended up going to the Cheesecake Factory, and I got to tell the story to the rest of my youth group, and my leader chewed me out for not being a good Samaritan, but also agreed that she was kind of a B. It's me. I'm lady. It's just a quick story, and just to clear up, I'm not a lady. I'm a guy who's also a very sleep-deprived architecture student. It's final season, and in my case, it means a super intense project involving making a model within literally a week. I walk into this little art store to buy supplies, and I notice that there's no particular uniform for the employees here. Anyways, I find one of the many things I'm looking for, but it's locked in a glass cabinet. So I go up to the main counter. 2 people behind it are helping customers check out. This third person, in a gray hoodie, is inspecting cans of spray paint, which is, for some reason, kept behind the counters. I approach him, thinking he works here, and just say, "Hi, are you busy?" He looks at me confusedly, and I think he simply doesn't hear me, so I just repeat myself. He bemusedly looks up and asks, "Are you asking me if I work here?" My face grows red, and I profusely apologize while walking away in shame and horror that I'd become the very person I've loathed. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if he posts the same story on here from his perspective. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stories, and I'll see you soon.